Welcome back to Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Get ready for some Red Sea football, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming off our first preseason victory of the season. That's the good news. Now, all of it is good news, so let's get to it, all right? Cardinals took the first preseason game of the season. First preseason game of the season. Of course, a little redundant, but still. Week 1 victory over Kansas City Chiefs, 20-17 at home in a stadium once again packed by away fans. On a side note, I know ownership in the past has complained about fans selling their tickets. They've actually spoken about finding a way to change that, including limiting people's ability to sell said tickets or even taking people's tickets away somehow. It's a whole mess, and you can imagine what kind of PR nightmare that would be. But it's been quiet lately on that end. So let's see if that even comes through. Now, while I get it, there really is only one true way to truly make home advantage out of it, an actual advantage: compete, perform, and then win. So, the stats on this one, right? Of course, nothing to be impressed about on either side. The highlights: Kyler Murray, 7 for 8, 96 yards. The pick and not a highlight. James Conner, 3 carries, 11 yards. Trey Benson, 9 for 29. MHJ got 1 catch for 15 yards. Great catch, great throw, honestly. That was probably the highlight of the game as far as anything those two guys did goes. And Trey McBride, 1 for 21. The always dependable, will rumble through and get you some yards. That's Mr. McBride right there. The rest of the story: Jacoby Brissett took over for K1, coming in 5 for 8, 81 yards, 2 touchdowns, looking like a vet as he is, and he should. Bam Knight led all running backs with 6 carries, 51 yards in his effort to make the team. And Mario DeMercado had a hell of a play, taking a short pass to the house, grabbing 2 balls for 56 yards and a score. Hits on the quarterback: Darius Robinson got one, Dante Stills got one, LJ Collier got one. Collier's, he got himself a sack, and that was huge because he needs that for his confidence coming off of kind of a dismal, sack games last season. Now, why do I talk about hits on the QB? Because we were awful on that end. We needed that front 7 to hit, and Monty has gone in, the GM has gone in and gotten some D-line help, of course, this season. Super excited for that end of the field, that end of the line, of course. And we'll get to it later on in the show. Pressure on the QB is going to be huge for the factor this season. If we want to be successful on defense and win games, we got to hit the quarterback. We got to get to the quarterback, make him hurry, make him get rid of the ball, check downs, whatever we got to do. But when we face the Patrick Mahomes in the future, the Joe Burrows in the future, guys like that, we need to be able to touch them. So the good. What did the offensive line do? Give it 1 sack. Clayton Tune came in garbage time, so it wasn't even the starters. Didn't really matter. They kept Kyler upright, which is great when the starters were in. They gave him plenty of time to throw, as proven by completing 7 of 8 passes, even though most were short. Last season, we had very little time for sure. He ended up running for his life half the time, but still, it was an improved line, but this one looks good to me. So they gave up 3 tackles for a loss on the running backs, meaning they stopped the running back in the backfield. But again, most of those came when the backups came in. Didn't happen to Connor much. Didn't happen to Benson much. So still, and Benson, I think they got him a couple times. But that Chiefs defense is still pretty damn good. Let's recognize real. 2 interceptions by the defense. 1 Darren Hall got himself, as well as 1 by Kenton Crawford in the end zone. I love those end zone picks because it deflates a lot of the other team. Nothing's more deflating than being right there to score a touchdown and having your ball picked off. That was beautifully done. 4 tackles for a loss from our guys on defense. Overall, not a bad day on that side as far as the good goes in this game. Now, the bad. We got to talk about what went wrong. Interceptions by Kyler and Clayton. Both unnecessary. If you look at Kyler's, we'll talk about that here in a second, but Clayton's was just weird. Overthrew a tight end, which is kind of hard to do because our tight ends can actually get up in the air. So he overthrew him, threw a pick. Fumbles by DJ Dallas and Greg Dortch just cannot happen. Luckily, we only lost 1 of those, but it's a terrible way for the start of the game, as Dortch's fumble was the one that he got off the kickoff, right? Now, why can we not have that on special teams? Because special teams has to be mistake-free football. You can win or lose the game on special teams. We saw that plenty of times in Devin Hester's career with the Bears, and obviously he did it to us. If you guys remember back in the day, Hester ran on us on special teams, just won the game by himself. Because let's be honest, that year, Bears were not good at all. So that's how that went. Now, the ugly. What was ugly? I mean, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? Kyler. That interception was ugly. 1st and 10, Kyler in shotgun snaps the ball, fakes the handoff to Benson, turns to his left, looks, fires, and throws right up to Jaden Hicks. If you look at the play, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. in the end zone, covered, but still a small window open. In the NFL, by the way, this is open. All right? Go ahead and YouTube Bruce Arians, Peyton Manning window, and you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. Peyton Manning, Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks to ever live. Of course, he knows that stuff, so it works out pretty good. So, so that was bad. Now, Mike Bride was literally 5 yards ahead of him. ahead of Kyler, right? So it was Kyler, right? A couple of defenders, McBride right up top 5 yards away, and then Marvin Harrison Jr. It looked like Kyler was looking for Marvin, but he just underthrew it like crazy. To me, it looked like the hesitation, like he didn't know who to give it to. Well, and Kyler himself came out and said, like, that was a bad throw. I underthrew it. And he made a decent point saying, like, look, it's good that it happened now and not in the regular season. Right. Get them all out now, dude. I don't care if you throw 10 interceptions in preseason, but, man, that was an ugly one to throw. Now, I know people are already coming out with all the excuses. Oh, it's only preseason. Oh, it's our first preseason game. The starters they haven't played their preseason in years. Come on, man. It's professional football. And for Kyler, we've already heard all of them. Oh, he'll get it. And when he gets it, everyone's in trouble. When? When is he going to get it? He's in year 7. 7 years? 7 years in, you're still trying to get it? I know he's 5 feet tall, but damn, he ain't a toddler. He's a grown-ass man. 7 years into an NFL career, when is he going to get it? Do we know? Does he know? Does anyone know? Do we have a timeline for that? I'm not saying get rid of the man because, but can we stop with the excuses? That's got to go out the window. It's got to be gone. Now, is that a bit of an exaggeration or overreaction? I'll put that way. Overreaction? Okay, maybe. I'll give you that. But damn, man, like, how many of these bonehead plays have we seen from Kyler in 7 years? A lot of them. Okay, the fumbles. Fumbles are part of the game. Of course, the biggest no-no in the game, honestly, is any kind of turnover. But fumbles are just ugly. If you label someone that fumbles, you don't get a job in this league, plain and simple. It's like being a point guard or a shooting guard and not being able to shoot the three. You're not getting employed. You're going to hit that unemployment line real quick. Greg Dorsey catches the kickoff. Now, that one was punched out. I get it. But it still cannot happen. And then it did look like Dorsey's knee might have hit the ground, right, before that ball came out. But, ref's going to be refs. So, either way, you can kind of forgive that one because he got punched out. But, again, ball security is king in special teams as far as, special kickoffs go. Now, my point is this. Footballs are contagious, or fumbles are contagious. Y'all remember that Hard Knocks clip in the Browns and Jarvis Landry, speech to the receiver room, talking about it's contagious, bro. This is contagious. JG needs to get in. Everyone's behind about fumbling now and make, and all the stupid mistakes we made. Get in there now and, nip it in the bud before the season starts. I get the Dortch one, but get it together. All right. Overall, not a terrible game as a whole. The guys got out there, they got loose. They looked solid. They got to hit somebody else for once. So it was all right. I'll grade this game a B-, right? Not great. Not good. I'll give it okay. We'll give it an okay. Plenty of mistakes to correct, but it's the first preseason game of the year. Let's see what JG does as they get set to hit the road and take on the Denver Broncos at Mile High Stadium on August 16th. They do have a joint practice this week as well, so that's another kind of way to see what the other team's going to bring, or at least, practice against another team, scrimmage, whatever you want to call it, where no one really gets hit. Kyler's got to warm up quick, though. He's got to get his rhythm going. We cannot be taking so long and start throwing interceptions early. And, as a fan base, we got to do our part. We've been way too damn nice. Way too nice. And I know Arizona as a whole is a place where, all of our fans are ridiculously forgiving for some reason. But then you see those miserable fan bases in New York and Philly when they suck, and Pittsburgh. And, man, those fan bases don't put up with any of this nonsense. They don't put up with mediocrity. They still support their team 100%. They will always fight for their team. But they'll let you know, right? Those teams do not need to know, but don't need to look at the scoreboard when they're doing bad and to know they're doing awful. Their fan bases will tell them. We need to start doing that. We need to start letting them know. I just want to see our fan base stop putting up with mid teams. The Cardinals have been happy just to be mid for way too damn long, and that has to stop at some point. I think Monty's the GM that's going to get us to the personnel we need to be successful, to win, to be competitive at least. And I do think Jonathan Gannon is the guy to get us there. He has a vision. He's built a culture. Those guys love him. They respect him. It's not just a player's coach, not just a business coach. He's an all-around coach. And he did come in kind of silly, saying, I don't know if you guys ever saw that clip about him saying, do you come in with fire in your belly? Did you see the bus? Did you have fire in your belly? And everyone looked confused. Please go back and look at the YouTube videos. You could tell JG was trying to figure himself out, like what kind of coach he was going to be. Yeah, he came out kind of weak, but he stepped it up quite a bit lately. Very much has his guys back and coaching right. So let's see what happens here next week up in preseason week 2, Denver, Colorado, Mile High Stadium against the Broncos. That's going to do it for today's Cardinals Daily. I'm Eddie Law. Hit that subscribe button, like button, leave a comment. What did you think of the Cardinals win over the Chiefs on Saturday? What do you expect out of the Denver Broncos game on Saturday coming up this weekend? Hit me up on all the socials. Catch you guys in the next one. Go Cardinals.